how my new boss lost his fingers. Back in the early 2000s, I was a management trainee for a manufacturing company in the UK, and I was responsible for quality control and production management. I was 22 years old, keen as punch and ready to change the world. About 11 months into the role, I got a new boss. Let's call him Fred. Fred was also the company owner's son, and was basically a 45-year-old duck-up who had only ever been a drug dealer DJ and now stood to inherit the entire company. His management style was, let's say, interesting, and he would deviate from screaming at you for the most benign thing ever to "I can't deal with the pressure, so I'll go home for the day" in a matter of hours. He also thought he was a manufacturing genius. His ideas were batshit crazy, but he would scream at anyone who questioned him. There was a 52-year-old machine operative, let's call him Roy, who has worked on the same machine for over 30 years. Roy could tell when his machine was 2 weeks away from a breakdown just because it sounded different. He was truly at one with his machine. Fred decided that we would modify Roy's machine so that we could extend the range of products we could manufacture. In order to do this, he decided that we would add an additional spindle to the machine. The problem was that each product would finish at a different time, and you would need to remove a product from the machine while the other one was still spinning. Roy protested and said he'd never use it, but Fred went ahead and modified it over the weekend with a subcontractor. On Monday, Roy said, "You must be joking. I am not using that." Fred said, "You will use it, or you'll be looking for a new job tomorrow." Roy said, "It's not safe and I won't use it. If you try to make me, I will report you to the HSE." And then Fred said, "If you report me, I'll make sure you don't find work ever again." So Roy's mother-in-law and said, "Okay, fine, I'll load the next job, but you can run it first." Roy loaded on his next job and took 2 steps back. He also looked at me and said, "Stand back." Fred started the machine and all went well for about 30 seconds. The first job had reached the diameter required and Fred pressed stop. However, he now had to lean over the other job that was still running at 2000 RPM. I didn't see it happen, but I heard an awful scream and then saw blood squirting everywhere. Fred fainted onto the machine, narrowly missing the spindle with his face and greasy long black hair. We pressed the emergency stop and picked him up, and it was then I spotted his fingers in the machine. I picked up 2 middle fingers and gave them to a colleague to put into a freezer bag, which was a waste of time because they couldn't reattach them. They were too mangled. Fred never came back to work. Apparently he told his father he wasn't cut out for running the company, and I also left about 6 months later. I saw recently that it was bought out in a management buyout, and good old Roy was the operations director. Good for him. Back in January, my girlfriend cheated on me. I didn't find out until May. I am a very trusting and gullible person, so she convinced me that nothing happened and that they just watched sports, and then he tried to kiss her and she kicked him out. Even though there was so much evidence that she begged him to come back after he left, she also convinced me the day it happened that it was just girls coming over. So I found out in May and almost broke up with her, but my dumbass believed her story and gave her another chance. I told her any small little thing at all and I will end it. I just found the other day that she created a second Snapchat account and was talking to 2 different guys. There was so much evidence in one of the convos with the guy that he came over. She sent him her address that talked about what they did, BJ and stuff. She called him love, etc. I even contacted him and he admitted to it and said he had no idea she had a BF. She is completely denying it, but it is so obvious. I want to break up with her so badly, but I am too friendly of a person, and her dog was just put down the day I found out, and now her parents are in town and I don't know what to do. She has broken me so much. Please help. Sorry if this is hard to follow, there is just so much stuff. So my best friend, 25, female of 20 years, has been seeing this man, 35, for about 6 years. It's all been good. I've met him a few times. It was a serious relationship with ups and downs. Last month they got engaged and we were all happy about it. But few days later I got a long text from her saying that he's married and have 2 daughters for 2. And when he divorces his wife, 27, they will get married. I was shocked cause I thought I knew everything about them. She didn't seem like like the type to date taken men. She told me he got married 5 years ago, so right when he met her. By the way, his wife doesn't know he's cheating on her and planning for a divorce. Should I talk her out of it? Should I tell the wife? Should I talk to him? Or should I stay away from it? It's not my business. Edit. She told me he was already engaged when she met him. When the relationship wasn't so serious, she didn't mind, especially after what he's telling her about his fiance, that he's not happy with her. She's lonely and doesn't want to break her heart. His mother-in-law are pushing him to marry her. She has mental illness. And that talk continued until he proposed to my friend and surprised her with the plans for the divorce. I was speechless. I logged off the chat immediately and ignored her calls. I am really ducking confused right now and doubting the decision I made after speaking to my boyfriend. I'm 20. By that I mean he's been ignoring me. We lived together the past 2 days and I thought he needed some space because I know he wanted the baby. Basically, I got pregnant unexpectedly. I knew from the beginning I didn't want to keep it. I am not ready for motherhood. Reddit. I am just not. I am not prepared mentally, physically, or financially. Boyfriend would have been paying the most, at least in the beginning, because he has more money put back. I was 9 weeks when I took the abortion pills. I told him I didn't want to keep it so many times. I told him I wasn't ready. We never had an in-depth discussion about raising a baby, but I bought abortion pills online from iDotchess. I was just waiting for them to be delivered. He knew I was waiting on them. I've been so sick from the pregnancy. Like, I've lost close to 20 pounds in under a month because I could barely eat. Still struggling with this, and when I did half the time I was throwing it right back up. I tried to explain to him my reasons for not wanting it. He knew how sick I was, but didn't offer much help in alleviating the symptoms, which, to be fair, not sure how much he could have done. I could barely drive for longer than 10 minutes without getting severely nauseous. Basically, what I am saying is, knowing I didn't want the fetus, combined with how sick I was, plus I only let one friend know because I didn't want anyone knowing I was pregnant, just made me hate being pregnant. It made the decision that much easier. But now that I've taken the pills and had the abortion at home, my boyfriend finally spoke to me and has not stopped calling me heartless. He said I have no heart for what I did, that I committed the biggest sin and killed a human being. He said I made the decision on my own and didn't talk to him about it first. From our conversation, he said he expected me to woman up and go to classes on parenting, make myself get out of the house and do things. He kept saying it takes 2 people to make a baby and that I took something away from him that no one else could. That hurt. There was a lot more said, but now I feel horrible. He's hurting. He was in tears at one point during the conversation. I don't know how to make things better. He doesn't believe in going to therapy, so that's out of the question. When I asked him what he wanted, like space, he said he wanted me to feel the way he does and to forever think about what I did. The human I murdered. I grew up in religion. I believe in God. I know what I did. I prayed before taking those pills. I felt a sense of guilt but knew it was the right choice. Until now, I am hurting for him, and I don't know how to fix it without destroying my mental health by doing what he asked and torturing myself with the knowledge that I killed our baby. I almost wish I could turn back time and not taken those pills, just to keep him happy, because I love him more than anybody on this ducking planet. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos. Stay with Reddit is awesome.